The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy because you can get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up on Rock Fantasy with the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Friday morning, June 20th, around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Roast Episode Scott Reichel, joined by Adam Rosenberg, who's officially back from his vacation. Adam, how's it going with you? The show is not the same without you. Did relay all of your plays that you texted me. So you're there in spirit, but now you're actually there in person. So how's it going, Adam? What's up?
It's good. Apparently, I actually didn't do badly either with my picks. I looked. It looks like it was both. I think both days were 2-1. So go us. But yes, it is good to be back versus just texting you while I'm on vacation with my kids. Yeah, everybody I hope is ready to talk about my favorite things, which are baseball and DPs.
Yeah, definitely has been a pretty decent run for us for the DPs lately. Of course, it's not 100%, but it's been pretty good lately. So hopefully that carries over into the Friday card. I do want to point out that unlike my normal one play getting voided, I had two plays get voided last time. I was 1-0-2 because they called the Correa game early, and he was actually flying under the bases, but it didn't matter as he ended up having a shortened game, which voided the prop there. So it went 1-2, or went 1-0-2, and the Bart play cashed if you ran it back the day after, because the game did get postponed. But either way, point is 1-0-2 could be worse, I guess. Undefeated episode for me, if you want to count it that way.
Unbeaten. Yeah,
unbeaten
is how they say it.
Yeah, so there you go. But either way, it should be fun. Looking forward to getting into the card and the props for Friday. Before we get into that, though, anything else you want to add? Anything you want to share with the public? Maybe some parenting insights from your vacation?
Same thing I always say, don't have kids. But the other thing is, your Joey Bart cap, it was his first game. I mean, whatever. I'm glad it cashed, whatever. But that was his first game off the IL.
Yeah.
So there's something to look for when we're looking at things is that those are kind of the things. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I like today, and which is both good and bad. But and I've already lost CLV on a number of things. But you know what I'm gonna tell people? Something that's been cashing really well for us that we'll build a little bit of it on air. The strikeout parlays, and not the kind that everyone thinks, but the fun ones where we just fade bad players. That no sweat was amazing.
Just to be clear, the batter strikeout parlays, not the pitchers. Pitchers are too mainstream. The batters strikeout parlay.
It's also like a really good bet just because so the last 2 days have been great for us when we do it because DK voids if the person doesn't start.
Yeah.
And so we had one where it was a 4-leg parlay and 3 of the legs voided.
It turned into a -205 straight bet.
It turned into a -205 straight bet on Ozzy Albies.
It was either Albies or it was Mullins. I don't remember which one. I think it was both because we had that happen on back-to-back days.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
So that was definitely a fun experience. But overall, once again, been a pretty interesting last couple days. And now we're back to normal because Adam's back on the show with his smoothie. So we'll move on into the actual props for the card. Before we get into the props for Friday, though, a reminder that the college football actual preview is officially out, or at least part of it, for the college experience. They're doing team previews on every damn FBS team. So if you want some thoughts on every team, Kobe and Moneyline Mac have you covered. Check out college football. A reminder that it's never too early to start researching for your upcoming season. But check out the college experience if you want to get into the college football action. Moving on to the actual props for the show today. Adam, I'm going to let you go first. What's going to be your first prop for the show?
So I see Jacob talking about the Cubs. That's where I'm going with some things today. Actually, like the Cubs run line on that today. Just 10 mile per hour winds is not strong. It's just awesome. It's more that there's some humidity and some drizzle, which is why. But there's somebody who's commented on being really good about that, which is Matthew Boyd. I'm going with Matthew Boyd. I think Matthew Boyd is probably the ace of this Cubs staff at this point, right?
As of right now, Ibenaga died, so they had to pick
He's coming
somebody.
back. Anyway,
he's coming back, but I'm saying as of right now, I'd say that he probably is the ace of the staff.
Matthew Boyd, we're going to go Matthew Boyd under 2.5 earned runs. Seattle has only gotten more than 2 earned runs off a left-handed pitcher once since May 28th. It was Tyler Anderson, which is super weird. And these are a lot better. Yes, Jacob, the 10 is technically plenty, but the threshold is actually 12.5 based on the data. But whatever, it doesn't matter. We're on the same side of it. Just I didn't realize you were a scientist. So anyway, Matt, meteorologist. Well, they're type of scientists.
Yeah.
Anyway, point is, I expect the Cubs to kind of bounce back on here because I'm not big on Seattle versus lefties. But Boyd is under this 7 of 10, and he's also at home. Only gone over this twice. Both games were earlier in the year. So again, based on form, based on seeing them, I understand that the Seattle team has good quote unquote history against Matthew Boyd, but I'm still gonna ride him because he's been pitching well, and I don't like. And Seattle scored 1 run against Crochet the other day. So anyway, wait, are you really a molecular biologist? Good for you, man. Good for you to put that education to work. Anyway, yeah, Matthew Boyd under 2.5 earned runs.
I don't know if you know this, but a molecule is when there are multiple atoms that are connected to each other, and that's a molecule. So that's what I got, Jacob. So ball's in your court. That's what I got from.
There you go. Yeah, no. It's let's see what we got. I just want to see. I'll refresh on the price on it. What is it? We got even money.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Cool.
So Seattle's been one of those teams that you might be thinking are actually decent offensively because they were for the first couple months of the season. But then Houston took over the division. You wonder why Seattle stopped doing anything. They stopped scoring. That's what happened.
Well, that's the standard.
It's standard Mariner procedure. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's something that's happened again. The Mariners offensively have been kind of falling apart. So there you go. But yeah, I can get behind that too.
This is the other reason why I'm kind of but all full disclosure on like part of the reason why I'm into this. The wind's picking up later. The game's supposed to start at 2. Mm-hmm. There's overcast and there's a little bit of drizzle. So there's a couple ways also this Boyd plays gets there. One, I think Boyd's just good against lefties, and he's just I like this to happen. Mm-hmm. But 2, game gets paused for a little bit, and you can kind of end up going straight to the Cubs bullpen, and then his outing could get cut short. So either way, that's what I like.
So I don't mind that based on the potential weather angle as well, because you're trying to cut into the game before the massive wind picks up in the later innings. But for my first prop, I'm going to go with that same game, actually. Going to go with our boy, the guy that we keep fading. The less is more, man. We're going to go with Dylan Moore under half a hit at -125. He's had 1 hit in his last 26 plate appearances. The guy stinks. And Boyd's pitching for Chicago, been great at home. So far this season at home, 36 innings pitched, 29 hits allowed, and a 2.25 ERA. Moore, though, has been a mess. He's been kind of an automatic out for the last month, give or take. And I do think after getting 1 hit in his last game, or one of his last couple games, he didn't perform well against Crochet. He had 1 hit, but he's been good historically speaking against them. Moore is just really bad. I got nothing else to add. He's basically a lefty pitcher specialist, and he stinks against lefties. So go figure. But the point is I'll go with the fade on Moore here. He'll get pinch hit for at some point later on in the game, assuming that you don't keep throwing a bunch of lefties out there. But Moore's been really bad. I'll keep going to it. Give me Dylan Moore under half a hit at -125 as my first play for the show. Adam, I'm assuming you co-sign because Moore stinks. He might not play, but whatever. I'm the Void King. I can live with that. But I just wanted to mention that I do want to fade him again for this game with the similar logic you had for backing Boyd for the entire start.
Yep.
So there you go. I'll ask you, though, for your second prop, what do you like for the card?
So second prop, I'm going to go with Hayden. I'm going to go with it. We're going to go to San Francisco, where I used to live. They're playing the Red Sox. Red Sox have 6 players. This is good. People will all talk about this Devers facing his old team for the first time, which, by the way, my thoughts on that trade are there's a lot of people that think that Devers is a top 5 player when he's really probably more like a top 25 player. The way I feel about Devers is the way I feel about Jimmy Butler. Okay. I think people think that Jimmy Butler is a lot better than he is.
See, I want a different approach when it comes to my thoughts on the situation. My initial thought with the Red Sox trade was good for Liverpool. They're spending a lot of money on Liverpool instead of the Red Sox. So there you go.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, my podcast, we're going to talk about it a little bit later this afternoon. Anyway, I'm going with Hayden Birdsong over 5.5 Ks. I got it at 128. You can go up to the 6.5. I actually think he's like Birdsong's got really good K stuff at home, as do most pitchers for the Giants at home. Red Sox have 6 players with a 28% or higher K rate over their last 5 games. Stuff you can find on Handigraphs. 5 of those 5 players in their regular lineup have a 30% or higher K rate in their last 30 plate appearances against right-handed pitching. So, give me Birdsong to, he doesn't have to go even deep on this, but I think he could get 6 or 7 Ks out of this Red Sox team. They're just sort of a turnstile, regardless of what happens. Over 5.5, that is a play for me.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you went for the regular strikeouts instead of going for the race 2, because Dobbins doesn't strike out many guys.
He doesn't, but Devers at the top of an order. I think that somebody can strike out there too. So it's just the Giants aren't exactly like a whatever.
Yeah.
Dobbins, the thing is that Dobbins doesn't have deep stuff, and Birdsong, they like genuinely want us to do this. Also, my thoughts on the whole series, like, I don't think that this did anything for the Giants. Like, I don't think I don't necessarily like, yes, you can do the GMs are all going to say the same thing of like, hey, this is really great for the Red Sox long term. That's fine. By the way, the last couple of times that the Red Sox have like traded a star midseason, they've won the World Series, but I don't think the two things are related. For me, this Giants team isn't constructed very well, and I don't think is very good. And to me, I don't think that their odds should at all shift. It should be like one of those odds before Raffy Devers stay the same as Reds odds with Raffy Devers. Red Sox, you could argue, hey, you're now missing a guy with a 950 OPS. Yes, I get it. You're missing that power hitter. I think it probably gives more at bats and more maneuverability to other guys that are young in that lineup that are trying to get in there. Braves coming back. Bregman sounds like he's imminent. I think, Devers didn't even start hitting until Bregman was out, a la The Fan, if anyone's seen that movie, when Benicio del Toro gets killed. And spoilers. Anyway, and then Wesley Snipes goes on that tear for the Giants, actually. Anyway, point is, I like Hayden Birdsong to strike them all out.
That's De Niro, right?
Yeah, De Niro. That's a good movie.
That's debatable. Good's a relative term. It's a movie. It's a movie, but yes. Point is, though, I do want to point out, though, since you mentioned the strikeout props, a moment of silence to honor our fallen Christian Campbell, who finally got demoted, who we faded constantly for the last couple of months. Unfortunately, he is officially so bad, the Red Sox got rid of him, and now he's in AAA. So, hopefully he makes a return. Shout out to Brett Beatty. But we'll see what happens with Christian Campbell, but damn, that guy was so bad. I had a great time betting against that guy. So either way, we'll see when he comes back.
It's weird because he'd gotten a little bit better over the last few weeks, but yeah, he stinks.
Yeah, but once again, for the sake of the show, we faded him a lot and it worked out pretty well.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I agree with you though about the Giants. It's not going to be a needle mover. At the same point, though, I get what they're going for because they've been trying to get some free agent splashes in the offseason over the years. Arson Judge, shout out to Arson Judge. They got Adames, who's been objectively terrible.
Awful. And that's going to be end of aging as one of the worst deals ever.
It's really bad. The Bogarts one's up there, too, for shortstops. But the point is, that was one of the bigger deals they made. And Posey said, you know what? If we're not going to actually attract the super or inner circle stars, maybe we'll trade for some guys. And they're showing some interest in trying. Is it a needle mover? Not as much as you think. But you know what? They're trying to get the roster full of talent, and a bunch of star players kept interviewing and not going there. So that's kind of the logic there, but whatever. It's a lot of money for Devers for a long period of time. What can possibly go wrong? So there you go. But before I get into my second prop for the actual show for Friday, a reminder that you can check out Circa because they are still hosting their Fantasy Bowl giveaway. Because if you want to try out the Ultimate Fantasy Bowl giveaway experience for a 12-person league to drive in Vegas, be checking VIPs for your stay. Get a home ride from the airport, a 5K tab for stadium swim and a hotel stay for you and your loving league mates. You'd always get 50% off everything. Circa Properties with the promo code SGP15 and the concept free at sports gamblers comes to Circa. Once again, that's how you enter the contest for free. We're also brought to you by MyBookie because MyBookie is a place for every sport. They have the NBA Finals, they have the baseball card, they have UFC, they have golf. If you want to just blindly bet on Scotty Scheffler, you can do that at MyBookie as well. Available 100 locations. Use crypto For all latest payouts, use Positive Santo for account. Use code SGPN to get a warning since match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply with the G promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going with the first couple props for the show. Time to move on into my second prop for the Friday card. Going to go with a singles play. I'm going to go with Gunnar Henderson. I know. It's the singles ready to mingle play. I'm going to go with Gunnar Henderson over half a single at minus 125. Henderson has quietly been amazing in the singles market, and people might not have realized how good he's actually been. So Henderson has recorded at least one single in 12 straight games. 12. It's minus 125. He's had at least one single in 12 of his last 16 road games. Now, Fried is pitching for the Yankees, who's been very good this season, but he allows more hits than you might think. Fried's allowed at least 6 hits in 4 of his last 5. So you're looking at Fried, who tends to let guys get on base. He's low-key a double play master, so you might see him get in and out of trouble. Are you
hinting at what we got?
I believe he tied a career high last start against the Red Sox.
All right, spoilers. That's going to be the DP. If you can't
point is, though, yeah, I noticed it too before you even mentioned it to me.
Right.
But the point is, he has been a double play guy because he gives up hits and he finds a way out of it. But Henderson has a single in 12 straight. Fried gives up more hits than you might think. It's a good spot for him, and he's had a single in 12 straight games. It's minus 125. I'll take that.
No, I like it. The thing with Gunnar Henderson is everyone thinks that I think Gunnar Henderson has something wrong with his shoulder or his hip.
The pop is just not there, but the contact.
His pop has been gone since last August. So, and it's been the same like coming out. Well, we know he had a side issue for spring training that took him out. But yeah, I like this. I like that play a lot.
Yeah, it's not the exact same type of situation, but it reminds me as a Yankees fan of Rizzo in the playoffs last year. Shout out to the unemployed guy. He came back with destroyed knuckles, and he was trying to swing anyway, but he couldn't hit the ball past like 200 feet. So he was only hitting singles, and he was doing absolutely nothing besides hitting singles. And the market's never really adjusted to it because he had no pop in his bat. Kind of a similar thing with Henderson. You look at Henderson as a former MVP finalist, basically, as a guy who'd walk into maybe 30 home runs. Yeah, I don't know if he could actually hit the ball more than 300 feet. But you don't need to for the singles market. So that's why I'm going with the singles. I'll keep riding it. So
rock and roll.
There you go.
With you. We have royalty in the chat, I see.
Yes, I see Premier League Gambling Podcast. I know they were recording a non-Premier League show, so false advertising. Yesterday, they're on the FIFA World Cup. But I'm assuming that's Mal, if I had to guess.
I mean, Mal likes both. Well, Mal
could be Bass.
Mal tolerates me and our co-managing of a team that is my absentee child. I have to check and see if we actually did well on that.
But anyway, I actually co-hosted a show with Mal yesterday, and we were missing about half the lines on the card. But we still
Mal appreciated my joke I made on Twitter where Colby said that we were all legends, we were really, really good and goats at sports or whatever. Somebody else did it, and then I said that you could probably remove Scott and put me twice. Mal appreciated that joke. I think that's a good
I just responded with a Marshawn Lynch gif. So
I thought so.
That's just fine.
Great.
So there you go. But anyway, I'm going with the singles prop on Henderson. I'll back the guy who's been getting on base pretty much every game for the last 2 weeks. I'll ask you, though, what's your third prop for the show?
We're going to go with Hunter Brown.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Actually, I have a couple plays, don't I? All right, well, whatever. We're going to go with Hunter Brown, under 4.5 hits allowed. Under and 3. Hunter Brown's really good at baseball. Under and 3 straight, 3 of his last 5 on the road. The Angels' last 60 plate appearances against right-handed pitching, 5 everyday players are batting 228 or lower. This is also a play that yesterday we got there on. Despite Rodon not having his best stuff, he still got us there. Brown gave up 2 of them in both of the starts that he had against them last year. And the Angels have only gone over a pitcher's hit line in 3 of their last 10 games, 2 against right-handed pitching. It was Will Warren and Sagano. They're just in a completely different league in terms of talent. This is one of the, I'd argue, top 5-6 pitchers in the league.
Brown,
yeah. So let's do Hunter Brown under 4.5 hits allowed for the Houston Astros. I took it early at minus 106, and I'm sure that you guys got a better line of it now because like what ends up happening is, by the way, don't worry about CLV on baseball. It's minus 105. Okay. Minus 105.
I was going to ask you though, after they burned a lot of relievers yesterday in that random extra innings game, I was wondering if you were going to go for the strikeouts at around 7.5 at plus 120.
Angels kind of cut their K rate a little bit. That's the thing. 8 is also like it's just like they just cut the K, like the K rate's there. There's like guys I want to go after. I maybe I'm also a little shell shocked because like we got horribly burned on Adele yesterday, and like he should have been like he had a 70% whiff rate against Verdon in his career.
And he had a ball.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about it. They did like this Astros team is kind of now mixing and matching players all over the place. He also the K line that they wanted for him, it's 6.5 at minus 145, which I'm not going to do, so I would do 8. He's never gone higher than 7 against them.
Okay.
So I kind of,
to be fair, it was 7 last start, but yes.
Right, but but like what I'm saying is that I just don't want to. The leap would the bet would be 8.
Yeah.
So maybe we could take a look. Just to look. I mean, just to.
I was just wondering if you thought he might get extra usage based on the bullpen usage yesterday.
I mean, I just think he's good. I just think he's
very good.
He's gonna cruise through this. So I'm not.
He's not gonna win the Cy, but he'll be a finalist because Scooball's too good. But he'll be a finalist.
Yeah, Scooball is way too good. Yeah, if I'm looking at the K rate that like if this is a lefty, it'd be different. But the K rate for the Angels against right-handed pitch, like their last 10 starts. Actually, I guess everybody's kind of carved them up. Yeah, we could do it. I just like the hits more. But I was thinking of maybe we alt the strikeouts in a parlay.
That's fine.
Because Joe Ryan has a good matchup too, and so I'm not opposed to 8 and 8 for both of those guys.
Okay. Once again, I was just wondering because I know that he had 12 last start.
Or actually, let's do it in the underdog.
That's fine. I just wanted to mention Brown. I'm fine with the hits under as well, but I was curious if you were interested in the strikeouts too. But
yeah, I just is the 8 that I just got nervous about going to.
No, makes sense. Was just wondering. All right, so moving on to my final prop on the show. I was going to go with the fate of a Nationals player, but he might not play. So instead of that, I'm going to try to snap my void streak, and I'll go with the guy that should be in the lineup for this game. I'm going to go with the Rays. I'm going to go with Jonathan Aranda. I'm going to go with his over half a single at minus 110. He's had a single in 5 straight. He's had a single in 20 of his last 25 home games. And Flaherty's pitching for Detroit, who's not been that good on the road. In fact, his contact rate's actually a lot higher on the road than it is at home. On the road, 32 and 2/3 innings pitched, 31 hits allowed. Aranda, though, has been great at singles, great at home. Once again, 20 of his last 25 home games, he's had a single. And Flaherty has been a different pitcher on the road, not in a good way. So I'll go with Aranda over half a single at minus 110 as well. So 2 singles plays. What can possibly go wrong?
I like it. I was looking at a way to fade Flaherty.
Yeah.
I think Flaherty kind of stinks, but yeah, like we could talk about that one all day.
Yeah, unfortunately Tampa though got destroyed by Charlie Morton yesterday. So
yeah, man, they got destroyed by the entire. To be honest, they got destroyed by the O's starters did really well. I mean, I like the O's.
They stole a game down 8-0, but that was the only game they did anything in. So they had a really bad series.
Yeah.
I heard a question, by the way, from D. Johnson asking about DeGrom over outs with Fried over outs.
Are you just trying to parlay them?
That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like the odds are going to be really good. But let me just see. Sorry, I was looking at. I can tell you, I like Sagano today.
Okay.
Pitchers who pitch their first times in Yankee Stadium tend to kind of get really juiced. The O's have also kind of owned the Yankees over the last couple of years. Just it's like the one thing they've done well. Yeah. All right, you want to see what DeGrom is doing here?
I like DeGrom today anyway because they're against Pittsburgh, who stinks. But
yeah, I mean, if you want to, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. I'm not. I would rather if you're gonna do them on as underdog plays. Like, yeah, I kind of like them. But I'm not like dying to. Pittsburgh's been kind of. Sneaky on the whole contact thing lately. I feel like they've been scoring or at least making contact.
The scoring part is not true, but the contact part's true.
The contact part is true. Wait, hasn't DeGrom has like hold on. Yeah. Something's going on with DeGrom. I talked about this with you before. Okay. So through May, his pitch count went all the way up to 103 on May 21st. And since then, May 26th, 81, June 1st, 81, June 7th, 81, June 14th, 82. So something is very, very weirdly going on. Like that's a massive drop that's controlling his pitch count. So without the K rates being there on Pittsburgh the way that they have been, I'm not crazy about DeGrom. Yes, he's wildly efficient. Yes, he has gone over this, but that's a wild drop that has happened. And it's clearly calculated.
Yeah, I think if I was going to go for a DeGrom backing, it'd be some type of maybe first 5 team total under for Pittsburgh or something, because that way you should
Yeah.
get through 5 anyway with
Yeah.
the small pitch count. But at the same point, it also gives you some extra opportunity if he gets pulled early. For
Like I get it,
under runs.
he's dominated these bad teams, but that's I mean, it's exactly 81.
Yeah.
That's
So.
it's very clearly meant. They're very clearly managing his pitches.
Yeah, as they probably should, because he's been injured his entire career.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind there. And Fried, I'm not going to make an argument against because Fried's a monster. So
yeah, Fried
I'm
just
fine
does
with that
all
too.
of it. I'm just looking at this pitcher thing. Yeah, like it's multiple. I mean, it's I kind of I would stay off it. I like a Canario maybe over 2Ks.
Okay. So
no
keep that in mind for a player.
That might be good. Yeah.
There you go. All right. That's going to wrap it up for the player props. But of course, Adam does have more props. What's going to be your daily DP for the
daily DP? We're going with the Yanks. Kind of alluded to what's happening, but Fried's a double play machine, and the Orioles are a singles machine. This is recipe for fantastic stuff. Minus 110. That's our favorite DP today. Orioles have also hit into the most double plays of any team in the league over the last 15 days.
I would not have guessed that.
Really?
I feel like they have some. I mean, I wonder how much of double plays though are based on contact and how much it's based on speed. Because I feel like Baltimore doesn't have many extreme, just useless runners. They're just free double plays.
Wait, they do have a lot of useless runners?
They don't. I'm saying that I feel like Baltimore's lineup from top to bottom has a decent amount of speed. Not like a great amount, but I figured it'd be maybe like a Houston's
up there
or somebody
Houston's
like
up there too.
A team
it's
that
Houston,
has
them.
I was gonna say a couple of teams that just have a couple of complete useless runners like the Mets, and you have Alonso trying to run. You know what I'm trying to say? I thought one of those teams would be number one.
I mean, it's a good thing you know. It's right now over the last 15 days, it's Houston, the Rockies, and the Orioles. The Orioles actually did really well in this Rays series of versus DPs, but they've been good. And just again, Fried is such a DP god. So no, that's where we're at on this one. I didn't, by the way, I didn't like the Rockies on this one because they're at home, and Gallen is a really good DP pitcher, but I'm not totally sure I want to do that one at Coors.
Makes sense. So, yeah. That game should be a high-scoring game anyway. So that's going to wrap it up for the actual props for the show. Time to move on is the best bets and the target entry. Before we get into the best bets, though, a reminder they're brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Because if you want to try out Underdog for the NBA Finals with their extended bonus, hop in Game 1. The longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. You got your maximum bonus because they're going to 7. So keep that in mind. But a reminder, if you sign up for a new account, use the code MLB SGPN, get a special pick and a first that offer up to 1K in bonus cash. Under your fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also about to Rhythm because they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. Add detected patterns. Rhythm's models have consistently one of a high ROI. Power Trends are updated daily. Exclusive to Rhythm. No touts and noises. Clean data-back picks. Download the app. Check out Power Trends. Start betting smarter. And a reminder, they've been doing very well so far with the Power Trends. Adam, you want to share one that they have on the list?
Yeah, I want to ground everybody in some stuff with the Power Trends versus like what's regular Rhythm and this stuff. So like Rhythm is a whole bunch of models that you can make. Baseline, pretty cool. Robots. We do really well in WNBA with some of these things on the totals. Shout out to that Indiana Fever under last night, hit by a half. They have Power Trends, which is basically taking what the optimal range is of a price and a play within the market and saying, when this happens under these conditions, this hits like 80% of the time. They now surface those as a thing called Power Trends. So these things have been, I haven't done great over the last few days, but these things have been fantastic bankroll builders because a lot of them are things we like anyway, which is under on somebody's hits. Unders, by the way, happen 70% of the time, guys. So you're always getting value. But today, like, again, Ketel Marte minus 140 for under 2.5 bases. They got Stanton up here at under 1.5 total bases. I took Tim Tawa under 1.5 total bases. That guy kind of stinks. I don't care if he's in.
I
That guy
actually looked at
stinks,
that one
dude.
too.
I don't care.
He's a lefty. He's only good against lefties in theory, but
He's
Gomber, we'll see how he does. But
Tawa
Tawa's useless
stinks.
against
He'll
righties, so
get
he might get
lifted.
pinch
So
hit
anyway, I took
in the
that one.
game.
That was minus 120. I thought that one was great. I parlayed Evan Carter, who couldn't hit a bus with who was it that I did it with? They have a lot of them that are up here right now. They like Reese Hoskins to get hit. So anyway, yeah, I was skeptical. I really like it because it allows us some money for us to play on some of our fun, dumb things. And then we're like, oh, well, this is safe because it's an 80% hit rate. So yesterday they crushed. They were like 8-2. They've been overall over the course of just time. They've just been, I mean, they got a 70% win rate in their last 100 bets.
Yeah, that's very, very good.
I'll take it. And the ROI is good. The ROI is 11%.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Check out Power. Check out
which is
Power
really good if you're getting it on these things. So yeah, anyway, a lot of ramble there, but big power trends guy. And we're going to go with Tim Tawa under 1.5 total bases there.
Yes.
And, on rhythm.
We are. And a reminder, if you want to try it out for a week by using the 7-day free trial, go to sportsgamble.com/rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through our props for the show. Time to move on into the best bet segment. Adam, what's your favorite prop from the show?
Hunter Brown shove spot.
Okay. So Hunter Brown to pitch well, like he always does, for his best bet. For mine, I'm going to go with Gunnar Henderson. I'll take the over half a single, minus 125. You mentioned his injury. He's playing through it. A single in 12 straight games. Fried does give up more contact than you think. Double play machine because guys are on base, and I do think it's a good spot for Henderson. Give me the over on his single at minus 125 as my best bet. For underdog, what do you want to do? We mentioned potentially going with Brown strikeouts.
Yeah, why don't we take a power trend?
Okay. You want to go with Tawa or you want to go something else?
I want to go at Stanton under 1.5 total bases.
That's fine. We can do that.
Let's do that. Let's do Stanton under 1.5 total bases. Or actually, do they have? Let's see what else they have. Let's take one that we. Oh, yeah, dude. Evan Carter under 1.5 total bases.
Sure, that's fine.
He stinks. He had that playoff run, and then otherwise he stinks. Okay, so Evan Carter, lower 1.5 total bases. Let's go Hunter Brown.
Higher 7.5K.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we need one more.
I like Joe Ryan under his hits today, but the notes I have is that he hasn't given up more than 4 hits at home since his first start of the season.
That's fine. You want to take it?
It's the Brewers all have terrible history against Joe Ryan.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So
we did play it straight, but I still think it's a good play.
Okay.
This is solid. This is a solid one. So Evan Carter, lower 1.5 total bases. That's over the power trend. Joe Ryan, lower 4.5 hits allowed. Hunter Brown, higher 7.5 strikeouts.
And what's the payout on that?
5.53 multiplier.
Okay, there you go. So that's going to be the underdog entry, and that's going to wrap it up for the show. We'll be back once again for the prop show on Monday. I'll be back later today to get into the Saturday games, so check that out at 5 p.m. Eastern. Adam, anything else you want to add?
No, man. I know I always am like weird about like using tools and stuff like that, but the power trends thing massively saved my night. So I'm pretty. Shout out to Ohtani going under, Acuna going under. Who else did we have?
Well, shout out to Suarez then, because he's the one who plunked Ohtani in his final at bat.
Yeah, it's fine. He did. I'll take it however I get it.
Oh, it was a 3-0 count. He launched it at his back.
Goodman went under. We had a couple of guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. So overall, can't complain. But either way, find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at Rosenberg. And until next time, good luck to all.